Come on, Bob. Esteemed colleagues, parents, family members, and members of the great class of 2021, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you back to this elegant tent for Millbrook's 90th commencement exercises. Reverend Cameron Reynolds Hardy will bless this commencement. None are better suited for the task, as her Millbrook connections are broad and deep. With her husband, Bill, she joined the Millbrook faculty in 1990, and together they are Millbrook parents 3 times over. A graduate of Bowdoin College and Yale Divinity School, she serves Millbrook in acceptable ways as an advisor, a dorm parent, a teacher, diversity, equity, and inclusion leader, and most of all, our chaplain. Chaplain Hardy.
Transition. It's the most challenging, sometimes excruciating part of evolution. Not the first spark of an idea, nor the last push to completion. Transition is the hardest. Millbrook is an evolutionary school. It's kind of in our DNA to envision and revision our very being, just as the founding family, the Pullings, pioneered and as the Casertanos brought to new heights. We maintain our core values while we change for the common good, all the while open to inevitable curveballs entirely out of our control and as much a part of the creative process as that which we will into being. Class of 2021, you are a tectonic transition class. Who could have imagined the curveballs thrown at us beginning in March last year and ever mounting in strange, dark, and challenging ways all this year? And how have you navigated these transitions, these challenges, with compassion and transparency and grit? You reached beyond yourselves, shook off your fears, and allowed us and you to just deal. And here we are. In blessing this ceremony today, on behalf of my colleagues, I honor you and thank you for showing us not to fear our vulnerabilities and for showing us courage and creativity as we keep evolving as a school and as a world. Double-sided. And with that, I invite us all to call upon what is highest and deepest by the name each holds sacred and dear. Spirit of life and love, we ask for comfort and peace as we remember all of those dear to us who are not with us today. For the lives lost or forever changed by sickness and social strife during this difficult year, we ask for healing and we ask for strength. Let your presence be known to us this day as we honor and celebrate the various paths that the members of this graduating class have taken, the ways in which they have given, and the legacies they will leave. Help us to hold in our hearts and minds their many accomplishments, the joys and sorrows we have shared, and as we celebrate change, the very essence of life. We have all been challenged. We have grown and have been transformed this year. Be present as we give you praise. Amen.
On this Memorial Day weekend, it's proper and right to honor the men and women of our armed forces, especially those who have given their lives in service to our country. Please stand as Busy Cats, class of 2021, sings for us, America the Beautiful. Busy.
Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited your patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleamed, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Please be seated. I'm excited that Bill Menard is here today to experience firsthand the culmination and celebration of this most extraordinary year and the class of 2021. As I said this morning, Mr. Menard is a proud graduate of Millbrook in the class of 1978 and an equally proud parent of 3 Millbrook graduates. Following Millbrook, Mr. Menard spent a year of study in England with the English Speaking Union program, after which he attended Williams College and Georgetown Law School. A man of many interests, we're truly fortunate that Millbrook has been at the top of his list as he has served as a trustee since 1993 and chairman since 2010. That level of commitment to Millbrook should come as no surprise, as Bill was the recipient of the Community Service Cup at his commencement, as well as the Summa Cum Laude Medal. Please join me in welcoming Mr. William Menard. Stop making jokes. He sounds amazing. We gotta meet this guy at some point. Wow.
So to the Millbrook class of 2021, to the faculty and the staff, to the administration, to Mr. Casartano and Mr. Downs, and to Dr. Rodeo. On behalf of the Millbrook School Board of Trustees, welcome. And on behalf of me, a particular trustee and a past parent, graduate of the class of 78, yada, 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 you heard. To each of you, my personal, heartfelt, and most sincere thanks. Graduates, or soon-to-be graduates, nearly 50 years ago, it was 43 years ago, I just did the math, I sat where you're sitting, ready to receive my diploma and move on to college and a whole new world that lay ahead of me. So I've been there before, and I think I know what you may be going through your minds, and that is, who is this guy and why should we care what he's saying? And can't we just get this all done with? Well, yes, probably. Probably you shouldn't care, but I have the floor for a couple of minutes, and so I'm going to explain why my saying thanks to you, to the faculty, to our administration, to your parents, and why it matters. You probably don't really have a clue about what the Board of Trustees does and what a trustee is. We don't inspire you in the classroom. We don't build you into a team on the athletic fields. We don't engage with you or challenge you to be your best selves, to discover the passions that lie within you, to see yourselves in college, and to work with you to realize those ambitions. All of the people that sit over here today, they do that, and they do it so well, but not us trustees. All of those that have done this for you have been doing this for the past year, in the past 4 years, but especially during this most interesting and challenging years. So what do we do? Why am I here? Why does it matter? Mr. Downs this morning said that the owners of the school are the alums. I would take issue with that, being a trustee. I think trustees are like the owners of the school, like owners of a business in a way, but with one main difference. Most business owners are the founders, the visionaries, the individuals who had the vision to create something great and something special to help realize that vision. My trustee colleagues and I, and there are a few in the audience today, did not create Millbrook School. We did not have the founding vision. We didn't create the ideal that Mr. Pulling did back in 1931. But like each of you, each of my trustee colleagues has been touched, indelibly shaped by this place in one way or another, as an alumnus, as a parent, as a neighbor. And so we serve with a love bordering on fervor to preserve, extend, and make inevitable the experience we understand as Millbrook's mission. In this way, we're kind of like loyal, maybe somewhat fanatical customers of a business that was created by someone else with a vision, customers who've been privileged to be invited into the boardroom and help lead that enterprise. But we're hardly experts. For the most part, we don't teach, we don't coach, we don't know much about ring-tailed lemurs or about iambic pentameter. But if we're doing our job well, and I think we are, we know and we understand and we cherish what this school is. We champion it and we do what we can to sustain it. We try to capture and put it in words so all of us can work together to nurture and grow it and share it. We sometimes call it mission. In a community where every student is known and needed, Millbrook prepares its students for college and lives of meaning and consequence by instilling the values of respect, integrity, stewardship, service, and curiosity. We also distill it into our motto, in Latin no less, non sibi sed cunctus, not for oneself, but for all. And as right as those words are, as fitting as they are, they do not and cannot completely capture the spirit of Millbrook, of the Millbrook that we love, the soul of this place. That spirit and that soul can only be imperfectly described with words. Its true being exists only when it is lived, and it lives only when it's nurtured. Here, in all of you, is propagated only through you, each of you, students, parents, faculty, staff, administration. That's what we trustees, this devoted group of keepers of the Millbrook mission, strive to work every day. In normal times, our thanks to the graduating class would be sincere and well deserved. A thank you for having lived the mission and for joining the ranks of those who will spend their life spreading that mission. This year, in this pandemic world, even when the simplest task was often accompanied by life or death implications, where fear threatened to shut us down or separate us or break us apart, you, against all the odds, have emerged as Millbrook graduates, living a daily life so completely different, so unrecognizable to those who came before you, with masks and those gloves in the dining hall, in pods, socially distanced. Yet your experience, creating out of need, want, and desire, creating your own community where there was no blueprint, where there was no roadmap. You may have lived the most authentic Millbrook experience of any class in the last 90 years. So do I matter? Does our Board of Trustees matter? We can leave that aside. But my thanks, my gratitude to each of you, your students, your families who've supported you through this and supported this school, our faculty, our staff, administrators. Does my thanks to all of you matter? It sure as hell does. It sure as hell does. And so on behalf of the Millbrook School Board of Trustees and on behalf of this ideal that is Millbrook School, I welcome you to the graduation exercises of the Millbrook class of 2021, and I thank you. Thank you. Now, at this point is where I would normally sit down and shut up, but this is not a normal day. Like each of you graduates, after 31 years, Mr. and Mrs. Casertano will soon be leaving this campus, like you, to start a new chapter in their lives. Mr. Casertano, the embodiment of non sibi sed cunctus, if there ever was one, implored me not to waste words and time in his honor today, to keep the focus on you, our graduating seniors. And even though I'm technically his boss, I agreed to comply with his wishes, mostly. I was fortunate enough to watch Mr. Casertano's final chapel talk the other day online. And after serving with him for 29 years, I can honestly say I know him pretty well. So there wasn't much he could say at that occasion that would say or do that would surprise me. Even his emotion when he choked up a bit, when he was talking about driving down School Road for the last time. I've seen that before. I've seen his emotion. Drew does a good job projecting business as usual, but he's a man who cares deeply about the dignity of the lives of his faculty, about helping students discover and develop their best selves, and about leaving this place better than he found it. So his tears in that talk, his humanity, that was not really a surprise to me. What was a surprise to me were my tears. Look, I'm not at all worried about Millbrook's future. This Board of Trustees did an exceptional job in hiring the single most capable person in America to lead this school into its next chapter in Mr. Downs. No question. But just as you all and Mr. and Mrs. Casertano are eagerly looking forward to the next chapter in your lives, that excitement is tempered with a bit of nostalgia and perhaps tinged with a bit of sadness. So too, I'm excited about what lies ahead for Millbrook, and with Mr. Downs as my partner. But that excitement is tinged with more than a little sadness that Drew will not be there with me and with us. It's been an amazing journey, Drew. And thank you for 31 years, and thank you for making Millbrook, Millbrook. There's one more. So no matter where our next challenges come for you, the class of 2021, for the Casertanos, for Millbrook School and the Board of Trustees, I think that we are more than well prepared by what we've lived here, by what we've experienced, to make the most of the journey that lies ahead. It'll be different. It will sometimes be a challenge, but I do know one thing. It's going to be freaking awesome. All right? So keep your heads up, meet the challenges of tomorrow, and when you feel the tears come today or over the next few days ahead, and I know that they will, remember the words of a great and quotable doctor, and not Dr. Rodeo, who will be speaking in a moment, but Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. I think. I'm so pleased to introduce Dr. Scott Rodeo, who has kindly agreed to share his thoughts and wisdom with the class of 2021. A graduate of Stanford and Weill Cornell Medicine and proud father of Caitlin, class of 2022. Dr. Rodeo is an attending orthopedic surgeon and clinician scientist at the Hospital for Special Surgery. He is professor of orthopedic surgery at Cornell Weill and co-chief emeritus of the Sports Medicine Institute at HSS. In 2015, he became the team physician for the New York Giants. Suffice it to say that Dr. Rodeo is really good at what he does. Dating back to last May, Dr. Rodeo and his wife, Dr. Christine Fasora, Caitlin's proud mother, have been two of the 4 doctors on our medical advisory committee, the group that has done so much to guide us through this school year safely and to bring us to this moment. Especially fitting for today is that he said in our first meeting, it's not about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Please join me in welcoming and thanking Dr. Rodeo.
Well, following Bill is a tough act, but I'll do my best. So first, greetings to the class of 2021, students, parents, and everyone in this wonderful Millbrook community. I want to start by congratulating the class of 2021. I also want to thank Drew Casertano for this opportunity to share some thoughts with you here today. And I also want to recognize and thank John Dowds and Drew for their leadership. Our daughter, Caitlin, as mentioned, is just finishing her 5th form here, and she's really thrived here at Millbrook. And my wife, Christine, and I have seen what a special place this is. Any graduation marks the end of a memorable year. It's also true that everyone remembers their senior year of high school. Well, that will certainly be true for this year's graduating class, as none of us here today have ever lived through a true global pandemic. When I sat down to write some thoughts to share with you today, I thought I would first title this Perseverance in a Pandemic, Lessons from COVID-19. Then I thought that sounded a bit too serious. Although there are some serious lessons I'll share with you today, perhaps a better title is How I Spent My Senior Year of High School in a Mask. So let's start there and talk about what we learned during this unique year. As a commencement speaker, I think my job is to impart some words of wisdom or life lessons. I've had the good fortune to work with some highly performing elite athletes, and I'd like to share some lessons learned from working with these athletes and sports teams over the years. I think these lessons are apropos given the trials of the past year and will serve you well as you enter the next phase of your life. Many of the important lessons I have learned in life have come from involvement in sports and working with all types of athletes. I've also learned the very important lessons from my fantastic family. And in a parallel way, I've also learned a lot from my patients, observing their response to injury and recovery from surgery. And there are actually a number of parallels and similarities between an athlete working towards a goal, family members working together, and a patient working toward recovering from an injury or surgery. And I'll share some of those lessons with you here today. One of the most valuable lessons is the importance of family. I'm fortunate to have a loving and wonderful family. I think that we all saw the importance of family during this year's pandemic. It's always said that a graduation is not the end, but rather the beginning. I guess that's why they call it commencement, right? Well, I'd submit to you that this is certainly the case at this time, as hopefully we are nearing the end of this pandemic, and not only can you move forward with your further education, but you can look forward to returning to some sense of normalcy. Thus, while graduation is always representative time of hope, that is certainly the case now. But there is no doubt that you may feel some anxiety and uncertainty about the immediate future, given your experience over the past year. This is very natural. It has been a trying last year for all of us. You are at a crossroads right now. You can let this uncertainty dominate your thoughts, limit your aspirations, or you can take the glass half full approach, realizing that you successfully met the challenges posed by this pandemic, you weathered this storm, like today, and you can learn from this experience and extract some positives. I'll share a story here about one of my favorite athletes that directly relates to this point. Eli Manning has a unique ability to immediately forget a bad play and move forward. I saw this firsthand from the New York Giants sidelines numerous times, including 2 Super Bowl victories. In the first of Eli's Super Bowls in February 2008, we were losing to the New England Patriots in the 4th quarter against a quarterback named Tom Brady. Brady's Patriots had finished the season undefeated, while we snuck in as a 9-7 wild card. Sacks and interceptions had occurred in this game, and I cannot imagine anyone in the stadium in Arizona that day thought that the Giants had any chance. However, Eli hung in there, provided leadership for his teammates, and we won the game. And the important lesson here is about not letting negatives derail you from your goal. Perseverance does pay off. Life will throw you curveballs. Bad things will happen. Interceptions, pandemics, 48-degree graduations. The important thing is how you respond. The ability to examine what happened, learn from it, and then move on will serve you well. It is easy in human nature to dwell on the negative. Don't do it. This is an example of how great athletes can turn negatives into a positive. I think that we should all and can all do the same. There are parallels with our world right now responding to this pandemic. It is natural to be anxious and uncertain of the future. However, I would suggest an alternative view. We can all learn some lessons from this pandemic and come out better for it. For example, I think that we have learned how we are all connected in the global community, and we have learned the importance of working together and supporting each other, understanding how our behaviors affect others. As I mentioned earlier, I've learned that nothing is more important than your family. If I'm COVID-19 positive and I do not take the appropriate steps to protect those around me, my friends or family members might get sick. My teammates might miss the game because they are deemed high-risk close contacts, or perhaps my co-actors and co-musicians in my performing arts group might be affected. For those of you sports fans here, you may remember the Denver Broncos having 0 quarterbacks available for a game this past season. And that might have been due to irresponsible and selfish behavior by some teammates. An important lesson is that we are all in this together, and we can all help each other. And there's no better feeling than that derived from helping others. The national reckoning over racial discrimination over the past year has provided another dramatic lesson on the critical importance of putting our differences aside and working together in this global community. Remember, the world has responded and become a better place following other dramatic events and upheavals. The flu pandemic in 1918 that we've heard about, syphilis outbreaks, world wars, racial discrimination in the 1960s, et cetera, et cetera. The ability to see the glass as half full rather than half empty will serve you well. The famous UCLA basketball coach John Wooden said, "Things turn out the best for those who make the best of the way things turn out." Let's go back to 2008, several months following that dramatic New York Giants comeback over the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I'll share another story about lessons learned from another great athlete, Michael Phelps. I've worked as national team physician for USA Swimming since 2000, and I've been fortunate to serve as Olympic team physician for the past 4 Olympic Games, where I had the unique good fortune and really lucky timing to be present for all of Michael Phelps' 28 total Olympic medals over 4 Olympic Games. It was the Beijing Olympic Games in August 2008, where Michael made his historic run, winning 8 gold medals. And what I learned over those 8 days of competition was the power of singular focus on a goal. That focus came from having worked toward a goal for years beforehand. Now, it is not exactly a bold statement to say that focus is important, right? But true focus does not just happen. This came from setting, focusing on, and then working towards a goal. Michael Phelps hates to lose. Who doesn't? But what makes Michael unique was his intense and singular focus. Tune out the noise and focus on the goal. Frankly, to win 8 gold medals, you need some luck. The sun, moon, and stars have to align, but I truly believe that you make your own luck. In fact, one of my favorite quotes in sports is, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." The point of these anecdotes about Eli Manning and Michael Phelps are not just the successful outcomes, but the underlying behaviors and traits that led to these outcomes. These were not just coincidental, lucky wins. Remember, you make your own luck. I bring you these lessons learned from the world of sports. However, I believe that these are life lessons that apply broadly to all of us, whether you're a musician, an artist, a scholar, a dancer, or an athlete. I'll leave you with a few more lessons learned that I hope will serve you well as you enter the next phase of your education. Number 1, be a student of your chosen activity, whether it's sports, music, the arts, or something else. That is, develop a passion for something. This way your life's work won't be work. The great ones have a passion for what they are doing, be it a lawyer, a musician, a doctor, a painter, a teacher, or an athlete. Number 2, be a team player. No doubt this is a time-worn cliche, but it's very true. We are all better working together. We certainly learned this again this year during this year's pandemic. This holds true in sports, business, your college studies, and most things in life. Number 3, following on lesson number 2 above, check your ego at the door. Don't let successes go to your head. Stay humble. Certainly you should be proud of accomplishments and you should derive confidence from them, but avoid arrogance at all times. Number 4, remember, the only place where success comes before work is in the dictionary. I stated just a moment ago, the harder I work, the luckier I get. Another one of my favorite Winston Churchill quotes is, success is the ability to go from one failure to another with no loss of enthusiasm. As I said before, adversity will occur. Just look at the last year on this planet, right? But the important thing to remember is that the outcome is determined by how we respond to such adversity. Lastly, and perhaps the most important life lesson and piece of advice I'll leave with you today, make your family a priority, which has been made so clear to us during this year's pandemic. I'm sure that your parents are all very proud of you, just as my wife, Christina, and I are so proud of our wonderful children, Sarah, Scott Jr., Mark, and our Millbrook student, Caitlin. At the end of the day, you should be very proud of what you have accomplished. Senior year of high school is tough enough, but think of what you also successfully conquered this year. The addition of having to wear a mask, having to figure out what social distancing is all about, putting up with nasal and saliva tests, quarantines, etc. These additional challenges to an already challenging year in your life have made you stronger. You can and should derive strength and confidence from that. So I wish you all the best of luck, success, and happiness in your future endeavors. And I join everyone here in congratulating you on this special day. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Truly wise words. It's a Millbrook tradition for the sixth form to elect one of their own to speak at commencement. The class of 2021 has made an inspired choice with the election of Artemis Koprulu. Dorm leader, prefect, class of 1978 award, and someone who will leave his school better than he found it. As Mr. Whiting, Artemis's loving advisor, said so well, his will be a unique voice elected by a class that persevered through unique times. Indeed. As Artemis makes his way, or he's already here, I'd like to tell him and all of you that in 1960, the senior speaker was Peter John Wallace, who tragically lost his life while he was an undergraduate at Yale. In memory of her son, Mrs. William Leonard endowed a special gift, which is presented to the elected speaker each year. Artemis, I'll give you your gift after I hear your words. The microphone is yours.
Hello? Oh, great. Mr. Casertano, Mr. Downs, the faculty and staff, and of course, the class of 2021, thank you for giving me the honor of being your class speaker. And to the third, fourth, and fifth formers, you had no role in electing me, so just sit back and enjoy. When I called my best friend to let him know I was chosen to deliver this speech, he said, "You're valedictorian. That's amazing." To which I responded, "Not really, I'm class speaker. It's like valedictorian without the grades." To which he finally responded, "Sounds like you, Artie." And of course, the only way to start my remarks is with a salute to Mr. Casertano. Mr. Casertano took on headmastership in 1990 and has since more than quintupled the endowment and built over 228,000 square feet of new buildings. Like fine wine or that silky silver hair on your head, you have managed to get better with age, sir. But that age has not slowed your devotion to personal fitness. I have never felt more out of my league than when I was invited by Mr. Casertano to join him for his weekly CrossFit class. I accepted because I thought, well, you definitely can't turn down the headmaster, especially in his last year. 20 minutes in, I was drenched in sweat, seeing double, and in desperate need of an inhaler, despite the fact that I don't think I have asthma. When I finally mustered the energy to raise my head, I saw Mr. Casertano standing with his hands on his hips, controlling his breathing, looking out at everyone, showing that if he could do it, so could we. I do believe that this experience is just one example of how he has always led Millbrook School, standing in plain sight, possibly as drained as everybody else, but showing that he believed if he could do it, so could we. Mr. Casertano, your leadership has never been more clear during this unpredictable year. Thank you for guiding us through it and turning it into an incredible success. And while Mr. Casertano is Superman, he could not have done it without a cast and crew to support him, especially Mrs. Casertano. Along with our dedicated teachers, we have the hardest working dining hall staff, maintenance team, and zoo staff, whose diligence and determination were the defining factor of this year. I speak for the entire school when I say, you are what makes this place feel like home. Thank you. Now, of course, for the subject of the hour, the class of 2021, my peers. Sixth formers, you are all about to graduate high school. Soon, we will walk across this stage with 97 or so of our classmates. In all likelihood, you will be looking forward to college, seeing your friends this summer, and countless other things. And I know those feelings. I'm feeling them too. But right now, I ask of you, if only for a moment, to take time to reflect with me on our experience here. I'll start. When I first came here, I was an immature kid with long hair and very bad grades. Many friends and one shattered collarbone later, I'm an immature man with short hair and middling grades. Progress. But seriously, these are the years that have changed me the most, and I know the same is true for many of my classmates because I've witnessed it, among other things. I will always remember watching Sam Smith, my 3-year roommate, fall out of his bed upon hearing a fire alarm go off at 1 a.m. in Case Hall, not to be confused with me falling out of my own bed 5 seconds later and landing on his back. Don't worry, he can still walk. The Trevor Zoo has also taught me a lot. Have you ever had a Rhea charge at you at full speed? Because I have, and I promise you it builds character. And of course, I'll always cherish my time as a founder and leader of the Millie Hype Squad, even when we may have cheered a little too hard. My 4th form year, I was spoken to by Mr. Clisby about my enthusiasm during hockey games. In the email he wrote to me after one game, he outlined some of my egregious offenses. Quote, "You even encouraged other people to cheer for a parent who berated a referee." What can I say? I'm an agent of chaos. Sorry, Mom. When I did follow up to have a conversation with Mr. Clisby, I expected yelling and frustration. What I received was quite the opposite. Mr. Clisby was far less interested in disciplining me, but far more interested in teaching me how to be a better leader, which sometimes meant shutting up. At Millbrook, we were allowed to act like real adults without any real-world consequences. We were given the time, space, and attention to grow into ourselves. Millbrook is a place where everyone knows your name and sometimes your business, where the teachers are like family, and there's a good chance your best friend might be in the grade above you. During our time here, we have been a part of building something. We have been a part of building the school's community. We weren't just another cog in the machine. We were and are an essential part of this school's spirit, its growth, and its legacy, and that is something we should take great pride in. We don't know how you're going to survive without us. And in the years to come, whatever career you may embark on, I hope you will remember this place and our class like I will. That we were a class that loved each other and loved the school. I hope you will take that love with you and share it with others and use it to build communities with just as much connection and spirit as ours. I cannot stand here and tell you all how to get straight A's in college, how to get the job of your dreams, and I definitely can't tell you how to get through an hour-long workout with Mr. Casertano. However, I can tell you this. You matter to the people under this tent more than you know. By graduating as a part of this class, I believe you have the duty to give others the feeling of what it was like to be here, to make clear that you care about them. Until we meet again, thank you.
As I said, an inspired choice. Well done. We now move to our 3 individual commencement awards: the Edward G. Allen Sportsmanship Cup, the Community Service Cup, and Summa Cum Laude. These prizes only are included in the commencement ceremony because they represent the qualities we value most and which we seek to inspire in all Millbrook students: sportsmanship, service, and intellectual curiosity and endeavor. The Edward G. Allen Sportsmanship Cup, established by the class of 1942 and named for our late beloved athletic director, Ed Allen, this cup stands for sportsmanship and fine athletic service. Sportsmanship is the ability to win or lose with grace and spirit of contribution above what is expected, qualities that Ed embodied as an athlete and sought to inspire as a coach. By vote of the varsity coaches, this year the Edward G. Allen Sportsmanship Cup is awarded to Charles Weisberg. No. When presenting this award in the past, I've often quoted John Wooden, the aforementioned John Wooden, the late legendary coach of the UCLA men's basketball team. Through the words of Charlie's advisor, Mr. Stewart, I do so again. According to Mr. Stewart, Coach Wooden liked to say, be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is who you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. As a 4-year varsity athlete, Charlie's character is shown through consistently at his time at Millbrook. His coaches report that he's important to the team's culture as he is to the actual game. Special praise, considering Charlie's accomplishments are renowned at the school and throughout our league, on the cross-country course or the baseball diamond, and on the basketball court especially. Charlie has left a lasting legacy of excellence and sportsmanship. Charlie, as you take your commitment and your skill to the classrooms and court at Loyola, we're proud to honor you and to thank you with the Edward G. Allen Sportsmanship Cup. The Community Service Cup, whose citation reads simply, "For excellence in community service." On behalf of the faculty who elect the recipient, it's my pleasure to present the Community Service Cup to Noor Rahman. According to her advisor, Mr. Clisby, Noor is not just excellent at community service, she is excellence in community service. In addition to all the things she does on campus, Noor helped lead the day students to a winter weekend victory, just as she cared for her charges in Clark Hall last year. She managed the yearbook for 2 full years. She found ways to run the writing center when in-person meetings were impossible. She spent countless hours and unfathomable energy impressing the school to address issues of diversity and equity on campus. All the while, she volunteered at her masjid and helped at home. Noor drives herself every day to care for others, sometimes at her own expense and always to our benefit. Noor, at a school whose motto is non sibi sed cunctus, not just for oneself, but for all, there is no greater honor than the Community Service Cup. People at Amherst College have no idea how fortunate they will be to have you as a member of their community. Congratulations and thank you. Wait. Summa cum laude. No, not you, Artemis. At commencement in 1962, Headmaster Edward Pulling announced that he and Mrs. Pulling were establishing a special award to honor the ranking member in each graduating class. The member of the class of 2021 who graduates summa cum laude this year is Hannah Stewart. Hannah stands before you because her grades are the best in the class, and they have been from the day she arrived. Nothing but A's. Well, that's not entirely true. There's more than a sprinkling of A pluses on her transcript. Teachers love working with Hannah because she combines her powerful drive with exceptional skill and, as was mentioned earlier, an unquenchable thirst for learning. Mr. Clisby's taught Hannah in U.S. history and constitutional law says this: I realize how much energy goes into this extraordinary quality of work, but it also requires an extraordinary level of talent. Hannah grasps nuance immediately and can communicate complex ideas with great clarity. Other teachers highlight Hannah's compassion for others, for understanding their ideas and making connections to her own. She raises the classroom culture and discussion and connect concepts and ideas between classes and beyond academics to real-world application. Learning is more than memorizing for Hannah. She wants to learn for the sake of understanding the topic and beyond that, of life. Ms. Bennett, Hannah's advisor, says flat out, I challenge you to find another student who has more passion for learning and a willingness to share it with the community. Hannah, we present you with this Summa Cum Laude medal because of your transcript. As you leave us for the University of St. Andrews, we admire you and thank you for achieving true Millbrook excellence and enhancing the life of the mind on our campus. Bravo. Mr. Menard, Ms. Clark, and Ms. Whitehouse will now assist me.
Excuse me.
Oh, wait.
Forgive my interruption, but could you please step aside? Yeah, and then sit down. I'd like to invite Mr. Downs to come up and help me present yet another commencement award.
I love disrupting your sense of order. I too, Artemis, and I'm an agent of chaos.
Forget about the watch.
With unanimous support from our Board of Trustees, we are establishing one more award to henceforth be given on graduation day, along with Summa Cum Laude, the Community Service Cup, and the Sportsmanship Cup, the Casertano Cup.
The citation reads, "For growth and perseverance in the pursuit of the best self and the common good."
We value growth, perseverance, strength of character, and leaving Millbrook better than you found it as much as anything at Millbrook School. With this award, mutualistic transformation comes to mind. In honor of the relationship between Millbrook and the Casertanos, the Casertano Cup celebrates an individual's growth, transformation, and contributions to the culture of our community.
The inaugural cup has joint winners. Will Dana Lee Velez and Drew Deary please join us on the stage?
Does Drew Deary's smile ever go away? When he looks at you with those steely blue eyes, have you ever thought, is this kid for real?
And then there's Dana, seemingly stoic with a sneaky tsunami smile, cargo pants and Hawaiian shirts. I mean, who else can pull that off? No muss, no fuss.
These two make all the challenges of boarding school life look easy in really different ways. They never ask to be center stage, and yet they are unafraid of it.
Both Dana and Drew arrived at Millbrook with some trepidation, skepticism, perhaps even a little insecurity. They were faced with challenges and failures, and throughout it all, Dana and Drew persevered. Even when they doubted themselves, they led quietly and humbly. As a result of unwavering character and attitude, our community and our culture is that much stronger.
Drew and Dana, we consider this award to be among the most significant recognitions at Millbrook School. We are so proud that your names will be the first of many to be engraved on the Casertano Cup. Congratulations.
Okay, sit down. Dan and Drew, Mrs. Cassertown are thrilled. First of all, shocked by the award and thrilled that you're the first recipients. Now, Mr. Menard, Ms. Clark, and Ms. Whitehouse will assist me in presenting the diplomas to the class of 2021.
Sixth formers, please rise. Seniors, can you believe we're here in person under this tent with you mere seconds away from getting that hard-earned piece of paper in your hands? You, the class of 2021, have seen a lot in your time at Millbrook. Your years here have not been without bumps and bruises. There is no question that you have pushed us and challenged us. You are questioners and dissenters, and at times you're maybe even a bit prickly. And you have had to weather real adversity. The typical teenage stuff, of course, but then a year and a half of a global pandemic. And that feistiness in you that sometimes made you a handful, it's that spark that made you just the right class for this moment. You pushed on, you dug deep, and you set the tone for the rest of us to make this year happen. As I said, I cannot believe we're here, and we are so, so proud of you. Here we go. Yassine Amir. Luke Baumgartner. Nicholas Benton. Nicole Jennifer Bessinger. Connor Andrew Brissett. Jenna Catherine Brissett. Caitlin Rose Brissett. Seth Caslin. Olivia Charles, cum laude. Nathaniel Clisby, cum laude. Eduardo Andres Coles Volmer. Owen Gray Collins. Eli Cott. Jacob R. Creasy, in absentia. Drew Deary. Justin Lawrence DeFore, cum laude. Charles Moose DePaulo. Daniel Philip Feigelson. Isabel Maria Fenimore. Saya Candace Gallagher. Aaron Evers Gallivan. Jonah Gersten. Lily Joy Gooding. Ella Naomi Green. Owen Haynes. John Alexander Hamilton. Amber C. Hatfield. Nina Lydia Hoffman. Caroline Kelly Hopkins. Clayton James Jeanette. Kaya Jenkins. Kimora Amani Jenkins. Lauren Eva Jones. Adam Sabri Jubran. Elizabeth Honor Katz. Molly Emiko Kassane, cum laude. E. Artemis Dukowski Kaprulu. John Hartford Lenartz. John Gordon Anderson Locke. Peter Thomas Lyon.
Nicolo A. Minardi. Karina Marie Mancini. Griffin Mandelbaum. Sean Robert Mason. Ethan Mara, in absentia. Claire Winthrop Mensch. Anna Grace Metzger, cum laude. Arthur Meow, in absentia. Max Mogul. Abdul Shakur Mohammed, cum laude. Bauer Morrissey. Jalia Musa. Paris Lily Musalam, in absentia. Vuong Nguyen, in absentia. Peyton Maya Parker. Jake Percival. Jessica Noel Piard, cum laude. Augustus Peter Plagueman. Fenway Parker Powers, cum laude. Lila Piacenza Powers, cum laude. Aiden Price Gallagher. Noor Rahman, cum laude. Will Randolph. Nicholas Rexine. Mason Gator Rice. Cal Aaron Rohde. Martin Coker Rasa. Emma Catherine Shad, cum laude. Katie Shung, in absentia. John Edward Zakura. Daniel Richard Smith. Samuel Elias Smith, cum laude. Nicholas Price Sosnow. Robert L. Southwick, cum laude. Sophie Elizabeth Jackson Stark, cum laude. Hannah Darcy Stewart, cum laude, summa cum laude. Emmy Elisa Strang. Piper Stroutman. Alexis Stephanie Strykowski. Sophie Hastings Swift. Mary Elizabeth Thames. Simon Toohey. Zoe Teresa Tucker. Dana Lee Velez. Summer Shah Bogliano. Jeannie Wallner. Brian Matthew Weber. Marilee Davison Weil. Cum laude. Charles Isaiah Weisberg. William Mark Englander Weiskopf. Owen Wendell Brawley. Natalie Whitman. Max Julius Weeder, in absentia. Anna Catherine Wilson, cum laude. Mackenzie Slater Wilson. Jaehung Xu, cum laude. Congratulations, class of 2021. Please welcome Miss Martha Clisby for a musical interlude.
May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand. May the sun make your days bright. May the stars illuminate your night. May flowers bloom along your path, your house stand firm against the storm. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of His hand.
Beautiful. Thank you, Martha. So, in just a few moments, you're going to leave this tent as Millbrook graduates. Before you do, I ask you to listen up one more time. Life is inevitably complex and challenging. It's unfair, disappointing, sometimes cruel and painful. Life is beautiful. It's filled with opportunity and wonder and people whose kindness and caring are extraordinary. You know, both statements are true. To help you cope with the former and find more of the latter, I offer these suggestions. Be grateful unless you feel entitled. Be humble lest you feel you know it all. Be courageous lest you avoid worthy challenges. Be compassionate lest you become callous. Give to the annual fund. And of course, leave it better than you found it, whoever, whatever, or wherever it is. And finally, remember your teachers fondly, for they, like your parents, are sure to become wiser and more reasonable as you grow older. Or as Mark Twain wrote, when I was a boy of 14, my father was so ignorant, I could hardly stand to have the old man around. But when I got to be 21, I was astonished at how much he had learned in 7 years. I wish you Godspeed and all the best you may find in life. Chaplain Hardy, please bring these 90th commencement exercises to a joyous close.
Let us join in a spirit of meditation and prayer. On the verge of an end and a beginning, Creator God, source of our knowing, bless us. We are generations of families and friends, teachers and students, parents and children. We give thanks for the contribution of abundant and diverse gifts offered by each of us throughout this year. We give thanks for trust in our strength to be challenged, that we will endure, and we have, and we will gain insight. We give thanks for compassion, reconciliation, and healing, the fuel for us to face and embrace change, to grow unevenly, to navigate past, present, and future, and rest in the constellation of our being. And for the great gift of kinship and friendship, that gift which will sustain us as who we are long after we part ways today. We are blessed. Amen.
meet.